Hey everybody, I had a different button here to go live, so I was a little concerned that what I was doing wasn't correct, so it took me a minute to realize that I think I did it right. I think I'm live. Okay, now I just gotta kind of straighten some stuff here. Okay, I think we're good. I think that I am live because I don't see myself on my iPad yet, but I know there's quite the delay, at least here in Wyoming, with my internet, from the time I click go live to the time that it shows up on my iPad. So it is a little strange to me how long it takes. But maybe you guys are already seeing me. I don't know. Um, Dang, I'm still not seeing myself, and my phone is telling me I've been live for about a minute. So, okay, Diana sees me. Oh, there I am on my iPad. So, okay, good. I was thinking, holy cow, that's a long time. And it's possible because maybe my iPad is pretty old. This is pretty much the only thing I do with my iPad is watch myself be live just so I can see comments and make sure things look good, and make sure that there's no, the way my camera's positioned, all that kind of good stuff. So, yay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Night Stamping with Barb. It's wonderful to see all of you guys. I have some very cute projects for you. Of course, I always say that. Well, I guess I don't always say that. Sometimes I'm not sure. But today, I think I'm good. Oh my gosh, Judy, thank you so much. Judy said my hair looks good. Thanks, Judy. It's not terrible. It's a little gray. I could have probably used a little early espresso ink on a sponge dauber, but I figured I wasn't going to be doing this at all during the live, so you guys wouldn't see my striped, my old lady skunk stripe, as my son calls it. So that's pretty funny. Lisa said she had to watch an ad. I don't understand what YouTube's doing, because normally you watch a little bit of an ad and then you can skip it. But I don't know why they're doing this, honestly. It's kind of crazy. It is what it is. I don't control YouTube, unfortunately. So there you go. I wish I did, because there's a lot of things that I would do differently. So there you go. Well, I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it helps me when you do watch the ads that are in the videos, because that's how I get paid from YouTube. And when I say paid, I literally mean like enough to maybe take my husband and myself out to lunch every month. So it's not a ton of money. It's a little bit. And so, we got to make a little bit of money wherever we can. And, I figured the class is free. And so I'm sorry if it was a super annoying ad. And sometimes you can skip them and sometimes you can't. And I don't know why. Like I said, I don't run YouTube. I wish I did, because I do a lot of things differently. So there you go. I thank you guys. Oh, Judy says that she pays $13 a month to skip ads. Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, there you go. There's an option. I personally am not going to do that, but then I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube stuff. I mean, I watch, sometimes I watch myself back to make sure, if I said something stupid or whatever, or, whatever. So yeah, but I did not know that that was an option. So there you go. All right. So welcome, everyone. I'm trying to think if I have any exciting son stories. He did come to visit us on Sunday. Him and his friend came to town to do some shopping, and then they stopped by here on their way home, and he didn't stay very long, so I was kind of sad. Like maybe a half an hour was all he was here, so that's not long enough. And he brought his friend, which I like his friend. He's a nice kid. I really like him. But it would be nice if it was just, my husband and myself and our kid. But it is what it is. He's an adult now. He's going to do his own thing with his own life, and I get it. I mean, it'd be dumb for them to drive the 40 minutes in two separate vehicles. That would be stupid. So I get why he does it, why he comes with his friends. So it was fine. It was lovely to see him. I haven't seen him and I miss him so. But he's doing good. They're building a shop on to the business that they're currently working in. It's a fabrication type business, and they're building a powder coating shop. I'm not sure if I told you guys this or not. His friend's parents are building a powder coating shop. So basically my son and his friend, and I think another guy that works there, are actually building the building. I mean, they're not doing the electrical work or whatever because they're not electricians, but yeah. But they're building the building. They're putting all the tin on all the sides. They put up all the trusses. They put up, they're doing all that kind of work. So hopefully the powder coating will be ready to go. And oh my gosh, Jean said her kids would have done shopping at her house. I did have some things for him. Not like he came here and he filled up his buckets and he left, but I did have a few things. As I talked about last week, my husband, we're trying to be lower sodium people because of my husband's high blood pressure. And so there's like a lot of things in our house that aren't low sodium. And so I did give those to my son and said, hey, here's some things that we're not going to eat. Would you like to have them? So he took them gladly. He took them to get it out here. So it was a win-win for all of us. So anyways, of course, I always lose my train of thought because I see a comment and I'm like, oh yeah, and then I always forget what's going on. I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sure it wasn't important. Because nothing I really ever say is super important. It's just, chit-chatting with you guys. Oh, and I wanted to say Cheryl in the very beginning, before I was even live, she's watching with Ellie. So hi, Ellie. Ellie is Cheryl's little 4-year-old granddaughter, and I have a card that I got from Ellie today, you guys. So I'm excited to share it with you. She's 4 years old, I believe, maybe 5 now. I'm not sure. Cheryl will have to say, but she's pretty young. But I see a stamper in the future here, so that's pretty exciting. And all the rest of you guys, hi to you too. So there you go. Let's see. Patricia says, it's nice to see your kids become independent. And that is a fact. It's like, you raise them to be independent because you want them to be able to be adults. I mean, that's what adulting is. You go out into the world and you take care of your own stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, things come up and you need advice, and, we're seasoned adults. So, I mean, obviously I want them to come to me if they need advice, but, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be, like bailing them out. Like, I mean, if you can't budget your money and pay your rent, don't come knocking on my door. I'm not giving you the money. You know what I mean? You need to be responsible and do that kind of stuff for yourself. And they both are, and they're almost too much independent that they don't need me. Maybe I went too far. I don't know. I mean, probably not. I don't know if you can be too far. I don't know. But, I feel like they don't need me really for much. And so I guess that means I did a good job as a parent. They don't, even though it's kind of biting me in the butt now, because now they don't need to come home and they don't call. Well, I mean, my daughter does. I talk to her almost every day, at least, via Snapchat or texting or whatever. But my son, if I don't initiate a conversation with him, and maybe it's a man thing, I don't know. If I don't initiate a conversation with him, over Snapchat or texting or whatever, he would probably never contact me. He probably would never contact me unless he had a question or needed something, and then he would contact me. But like I said, maybe that's a man thing. I don't know. So yeah, maybe that's where I went too far. Who knows? Anyway, they're both doing really good. I'm very excited. Over spring break, a lot of you guys are demonstrators that watch me. Stampin' Up! Is having their on-stage event in Houston, and so I'm attending. That's also spring break for my daughter. And so I'm going to go down to her place in Laramie, and then we're going to go into Denver a couple days before I fly out. I'm going to fly out of Denver, and we're going to go look at some apartments. So I'm pretty excited. She's been doing the apartment searching, and she's got a list. She even said she had a big old PDF file that she's put together with all the information about all these places. So she's getting after it, which of course is she's an independent person. You do your research before you get into something big like that. So we're going to go down and look at some apartments, and I'm kind of excited to do that because, it's been a long time since I've lived in an apartment. And I mean, the apartment that I lived in, we had no amenities whatsoever. I mean, there was no security, there was no pool, there was no weight room. It was just a building with your apartment, and that's all. So pretty exciting. So you guys are saying that, yes, it's kind of a man thing. So that's good to know. They are, Joanne, adult kids are a lot of fun because there's not like you want to be inappropriate, you know what I mean? But when they're adults, you can let some little inappropriateness come out of you, and it's fine. Because I'm a pretty sarcastic person and I can be pretty inappropriate. Now, I'm not inappropriate when I'm live. I think I have said the SH word once on accident. But I can be kind of inappropriate behind the scenes. It's just I don't know if it's like a coping mechanism or whatever, but you know, I'm pretty funny, I'm pretty sarcastic, and yeah. So, hold on, I gotta wipe my nose. Sometimes the nose just runs and there's nothing you can do about it. So anyways, I can be a little more inappropriate with my children, you know, and have some banter back and forth with them, you know, sarcasm and funniness, and throw in a inappropriate word here and there. So it's fun having them be adults. You're not wrong about that. So anyways, all right. I think, guys, I'm going to flip my camera over. I've got a few cards to share with you tonight, and then we'll get to our stamping. So I got to put my glasses on so that I can actually see what's going on when we flip the camera. And then let me add it to my holder here, and then we will flip the view. There we, oops, this is totally not in line. I like to have my camera be level, and so I'm pretty psycho about it. So bear with me here. Well, there we go. Okay, let me get this thing out of the way, my stool. And I've got my glass mat. I was just cleaning my desk off, or my table off here before I went live, and I forgot to put this back. Okay, so I have some cards for you guys. I sent all of my team members a fun little Christmas gift over the holidays, and I have gotten some really nice cards back from them thanking me for the gifts that I gave. So this is from my team member Hope, and isn't that just beautiful? That's like some embossing that she did with one of our older style background stamps, and it's just beautiful. So thank you, Hope. This one I got from, I think, Lisa. Oh no, this is from Renee. So this is another really fun card where we did that. She did that kind of flipping of the paper. So that's really fun. And I got this one must be from Lisa. Yeah, this is from Lisa. So thank her for sending this beautiful card to me. And then this was from Nancy. Nancy is a Stamp Happy Academy member, and we give out a bundle every month to a Stamp Happy Academy member. It's a random draw, and Nancy won the bundle in the month of January, and I was responsible for sending out the bundle that month. And so I did. And so Nancy sent me this gorgeous card as a thank you for the bundle that I sent her. So that is really beautiful, Nancy. Thank you so much. Just another little perk of Stamp Happy Academy, you guys. Somebody gets a bundle every month, and that's really awesome. Okay, this is the card that I just got today from Miss Ellie. So Cheryl says, the front of this card was Ellie's first time stamping. I think for like a 4-year-old little girl, she did a fantastic job. And then Cheryl went on to say, and then she wanted to cut and paste the inside. So this is one of Ellie's signature moves here, is cutting and pasting paper to the inside of a card. Fantastic. I love it. So thank you so much, Ellie. I appreciate that very much. And then Cheryl sent me this beautiful card here. And Cheryl, you're so sweet. She sent me a Starbucks card, you guys. I am so excited because I haven't been to Starbucks for a while. So I think I'm going to treat myself and run down there. So thank you, Cheryl, so much. I appreciate that very much. And Cheryl was thanking me for something that she won in the catalog kickoff that we just got done with last month. So there you go. All right. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate all that. Here is the business talk. So as you guys know, 3 weeks out of every month, I do a live where I share 3 cards, and then you have the opportunity to get a card kit for those cards simply by placing a minimum $35 order in my store that week. So starting today, the ordering will go through next Wednesday, which I think is the 7th of February. Using this host code, orders of $35 or more, we're going to get the Precut Cardstock Kit for today's projects. If your order is over 50, you'll get a celebration item from Stampin' Up, plus the Precut Cardstock Kit and a PDF from my Global Creative Project tutorial, which is this month. It is the beautiful, I can't even think of what this is called, Nature Sweetness, maybe. So all the cards are done with the Nature Sweetness. Over $75, you get all of that. Plus, you're going to get a surprise embellishment. Normally, I have a specific embellishment based on whatever projects I'm making, but I just discovered that I have a lot of embellishments, and I want to get rid of some of them. So if you order $75 or more, you will get an embellishment pack plus everything else. And then if your order is over 150, please don't use the host code and take the host rewards for yourself. Okay. If you forget to add the host code, let me know. We can get it added for you. No problem. Okay. So that's that. We talked about the global tutorial bundle. That's happening. Today, Stampin' Up! Added some, let's see. Oh, Mary said she should date and put her name on the back. That's a great idea, Mary. Stampin' Up! Added some celebration items to your choices. So let's just say you've already gotten what you want out of the celebration brochure. You've got some other choices here. We've got this is for a $50 order, the Beside Me stamp set, the Botanical Leaves stamp set, the Delightfully Eclectic paper pack. This is that giant 12 by 12, 48 sheet pack of Designer Series paper, you guys. It's massive. The Just Kiddin' paper that's in the current mini catalog. The Love This Memory notebook kit. I don't even know where that came from, honestly, you guys, but it looks really cute. The Robot Buddies card kit. Valentine's Day is coming up. Those would make some cute Valentine's Day for the kiddos. The Stripes and Splatters embossing folders. The Sweet Thoughts, Memories, and More cards and envelopes. And in case you haven't seen those, I have them right here. So there's two different colors. There's Coral and Pretty Peacock. And then here are the cards. So the cards match the envelopes, but then the insides of the envelopes also have a really fun thing. And I have seen a lot of people, you guys, cut the envelopes apart and use the insides as Designer Series paper on their projects. So just saying, it looks like some super fun, amazing paper that you could use. And if you're getting it for free, who cares if you cut it up, right? So anyways, that is one of the options. And then if you have a $100 order, you can add, these are two new items, the Dragonflies Punch or the new color markers, you guys. This is a pretty good deal here. The new color markers, and as you probably know, our new markers have a different tip on them. They have a bullet tip rather than that teensy tiny little writing tip that was kind of crappy, along with the brush tip. So this is a new set of our new color markers, and you can get that free with a $100 order. So that's pretty awesome. So thank you, Stampin' Up! For giving us more to love. Along with Celebration, as you guys know, if you sign up to be on my team of demonstrators by the end of this month, you can choose the Glass Mat Studio for free if you so desire. And it comes with the amazing glass mat, the little chamois rag here, and then this fun little silicone tray that is a great tray for other things too. Like you can use this anywhere to keep things in place, like for your makeup on the counter, if you have things that are like constantly rolling off. I use it in the car if I'm making swaps to keep my pieces and parts in the tray. So it's a pretty amazing product. So if you have any questions about joining my team, let me know. We have our new online class for February, you guys. We are still going to do online classes every month, and then each of us are doing our weekly classes. So our class for the month of February uses the trusty tools, and it's all fun folds. So that's awesome. We're going to be using the bundle and the adhesive-backed cork pieces, the tulle paper that you can get from Celebration, the holographic paper, which it looks kind of weird here. I don't feel like it looks like this at all. It looks way more silvery, and when you cut it like a small little piece, it just looks silver to me because I used it on my pop can class, and it was basically just like silver paper. Except for, of course, the Berry Burst one. That's definitely pinky red. And then we're using the metal plate folder. So all those things are included in the whole shebang for $99, and then you will get the paper for free. The cardstock kit will give you all the cardstock pieces to create the 6 projects, plus some of this paper, and the cork pieces, or the online only for $20. Trish, I think I have one trucking along kit, and you can either message me about it, or you can go to my website, barbstamps.com, and look under my shop tab for class kits, and you can find it there. Okay, Lavender Dream Stamp Camp, you guys, is coming up. I should say Stamping Escape. It's not a stamp camp, but it is a stamp camp, but we're not calling it a stamp camp, so Stamping Escape. That's coming up at the end of the month. The kits are scheduled to go out around the middle of February, and it's going to be amazing, you guys. We have been planning this for over a month now, so you know it's going to be good. We've got some special surprises. We've got some games. You're going to get to make a gorgeous framed art piece using the lavender bundle. We're using some of the celebration items, and it's just going to be amazing. And if you're interested in registering, the link is in the description of this video. All right. We've added 2 new kits to the store this morning. We've got the Birthday Sparkle Kit, which is kind of a golden crumb cake themed kit. It's got 6 tags and 6 cards with envelopes, or this new little fun kit, the Happy House Plants. And you may have seen a little sneak peek of this kit in the mini catalog right here on page 7. So these are little 6x6 frames. And each one of the frames is a different style of plant. And so you get all the pieces and then you kind of layer with them and they make them all 3D and it just looks super fun. So if you're into plants, there you go. Adhesive kits, I always have these for sale, you guys, link in the description. And then we always talk about Stamp Happy Academy. Like I said, we just gave a bundle away last month. Kelly's giving away a bundle today or tomorrow. She's going to announce it. I just gave away 2 prizes last night or yesterday for our card challenge on the Facebook group that we have. So we have a lot of things going on. Dina just did her live for the month of January last night. And it was amazing. And so you guys, you should check it out. It's not terribly expensive and I know you'll love it. So there you go. Okay. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. And I have to tell you guys, look what came in the mail. My axolotl. Look at that. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? And it is so soft and so squishy. And I have to say that I did not know that an axolotl is a real thing. I thought it was like a Pokemon or something like that. But last week when I was live and I was talking about this, I didn't see it, but I think it was Patricia who mentioned that axolotls are actual real things. They're like salamanders and they're almost extinct, which I had no idea. And they're kind of creepy looking. This thing is adorable. Real axolotls are kind of creepy, but anyway, I got it. And it's going to fit in my little bag wrapped up in my paper. So there you go. Pretty excited to get that. My daughter is going to love it. And Lisa said she just joined Stamp Happy Academy today. So welcome back, Lisa. Yay. Okay, card number 1. Let's get my stuff. Okay. For this card, I'm going to use my brayer. Mexican walking fish. Is that what it's called? Is that like a slang term for it, Chris? The Mexican walking fish? I had no idea. I didn't even know it was a real thing. So I'm using an oldie but a goodie for my card class this week, you guys. I'm using the Wanted to Say die set. Okay. I love this die set. I can't love it enough. It's got the most amazing sentiments, and then it also has little detailed pieces to go with the sentiments. So if you guys already have this, yay for you. You will be able to get the card kit if you so desire, and you'll already have the dies. If you don't have the dies, I highly recommend getting them because you will definitely need them to make the cards that I have for you this week. And I also chose this stamp set because I needed some sentiments. Obviously, lots of you guys probably already have sentiment sets, so you can work out sentiments that way. So there you go. Okay. So that's what they call them in Australia, is Mexican walking fish. That is so cool. Okay. On this particular card, I'm using the Basics embossing folder, the polka dot. Your piece will come already embossed when you get it. And then I'm also using the Nested Essentials. You'll get this die cut piece in your kit also. So you won't get any of these things die cut, but anything else like this folder and this little item, you will. But you're going to be responsible for die cutting all of your own pieces that come out of the Wanted to Say die set. Okay. All right. So here is my card kit. And there are the supplies that we're going to be using today. So I've got a card base of crushed curry. Now, this paper might look familiar to you guys. It is retired. I get that. But the mini catalog seemed to come and go so quickly that I didn't get a chance to use everything that I bought. And so I have a whole pack of this paper, both of these papers, and I want to use them. And I always felt when I looked at this paper that it wasn't Christmas paper, that it was anything but. I mean, obviously, except the backside has Christmas trees, but I thought it was anything but Christmas. So that's what we're going to use. So all the card kits will have these papers in them and the foil pieces. Okay, so there you go. And I see somebody had a grandchild, so that's awesome. Congratulations to you. That's amazing. All right, so we're going to fold this in half as one does with a card base. There we go. And so this piece you're going to get it 3 by 4. Okay, so you're going to need to cut it into 1-inch strips. So you're just going to stick that in your trimmer, 1 inch, 2 inch, you're done. I went ahead and decided to space mine out before I put them on the card because I thought that would be a lot easier. So I just used a piece of grid paper and I left like a strip of squares in between each piece, you can see. And I just, well, basically, actually, I did it like this. So I put them on my paper like this. I got all 3 pieces lined up, and then I glued a little strip of cardstock. You can use any color cardstock you have. Mine just happens to be a 1/2 inch of white, and that's going to help me easily place this on my card without fussing around with trying to make sure the strips are straight. They're already straight. Okay, so there's a nice little tip for you. So that's what you'll do with this piece here. You're going to cut that, and you'll stick it on. All right, so here is our embossed piece. This is a 2.5 by 4 1/4 inch piece of Melon Mambo. Okay, super exciting. Here is my label that I talked about out of the Nested Essentials, and you can see it's going to cover right over my strip that I used to glue all these together. Perfect. You're going to get I think this is about a 1 by 3 piece of Melon Mambo foil sheet. And I highly recommend you guys, with this particular set of dies, using adhesive sheets. It will make your life so much easier. Even though I'm a professional with liquid glue, I use adhesive sheets on this. So I just put a little strip of adhesive sheet on the back of this. And so then when I cut it out, my piece of adhesive sheet, I will just be able to peel this off. Of course, if I can see it. What the heck? Don't do like Barb and not be able to see your piece of, I feel like it's got to be right here somewhere, because, yep, there it is. All right, so I'm going to peel off the backing off of my word. And I didn't put it on the whole word. I didn't think it was necessary. And so I'm going to set this right in the middle of my label here. And there we go. We'll get that flattened out. And I feel like I didn't, here I'm going to have to use some glue anyway. I didn't get adhesive sheet on the back of this letter C. So bear with me while I add some adhesive to the back of that letter C. There. Okay. So, and of course the paper did all the colors for me, you guys. Look how fun that is. That does not scream Christmas to me at all. Then you're going to get a little scrap of Poppy Parade and a scrap of Flirty Flamingo to make a package. Again, these dies are so much fun. So let me go ahead and glue these pieces down on, oh no, not yet. I almost forgot. I said we were using the brayer and then I haven't done it yet. This is how I store my brayer. I found a Ziploc bag and I cut a hole in the bottom and I have the handle sticking through the hole. The only reason I'm doing this is to keep it from collecting dust, okay? This is a silicone thing. To me, it collects dust. I don't want it collecting any dust, so I have it hanging up with this little plastic bag over it so it doesn't collect dust while I'm not using it, okay? I know, maybe that's weird. Maybe it's not. That's just how I roll. Okay, so I am going to add some texture to my layer of, or to my card front by using some ink. Now, you might think I would go with crushed curry, but I tried the crushed curry and it was way too dark, okay? So we're not doing crushed curry. We're going to use, we're going to use Daffodil Delight. So I've got a scrap here of copy paper. I'm going to ink up my brayer. I've got the legs up so I don't tear into my pad on accident. And when I ink it up, I am going to make a complete pass. So I'm rolling it towards me. I'm picking it up and putting it back on the pad. Okay. If you just do this, you're only inking half of your roll. Okay. You definitely need to pick it up and place it back down in order to get the whole thing inked up. All right. Now, this brayer does work a little bit differently than our old rubber brayer. It doesn't have the nice smooth coverage like the other one did, but I don't really mind that. I think that's kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of add some texture on my layer here just by brayering over it. And so whenever if I see a spot where I don't have enough, then I can just roll back over that. And look at that amazing texture. Just doing that gives my card. Just that simple, and I have this awesome texture. Now, I did mention that I thought the crushed curry was too dark, and I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison. This is the crushed curry on the crushed curry cardstock. This is the Daffodil Delight on the crushed curry cardstock. And I feel like the crushed curry, it was just too much, okay? It was too dark for me. I just felt like it was taking more of the emphasis of the card than I wanted it to. So I opted to go with the Daffodil Delight, and it will dry a little bit and it will be a little bit lighter than this, okay? And then what I do is I just kind of roll this on to my paper to kind of clean it off. And then I would rinse it under the sink and then I would let it dry. But since I don't have a sink right here and I need to use it for my next project, I am going to do this. I'm sure if you have the old brayer, it should work too, okay? So, and since my next color that I'm using is dark, even if it's not completely unyellow, it should be fine. So I'm going to set this behind me on my desk because I don't need that anymore. Okay, so that's our card base. Now we have some really fun texture on that. And now we can just kind of build this thing. So I've got my piece of Melon Mambo, and I'm going to add some glue, and I'm using liquid glue, and I'm trying to add it mostly all the way around. Just because when I do any sort of embossing, I feel like you need to use liquid glue when you attach things. So I'm going to try to use the grid here on my glass mat to kind of help me place this so that it's even. Hopefully. I feel like that's even. Gosh, every time I try to stick something on a card anymore, I second guess myself whether it's even or not. Okay. Is there any questions that I can be answering? Okay, there we go. Everything looks good. All right, so we'll get that on. This is a tiny bit too long, as always. I never usually have a problem with something being a bit too long because you can cut that off. Now, if it was too short, that would be a problem. Okay, so now we're going to add our little fun strips here. So I'm just going to add some glue on all of them. There we go. And here we go. So since we already know that our little piece is already level, or I mean even, all we have to do now is just make sure the whole thing is even. And I don't think that's going to be too hard. Okay, there we go. And then we have our label that, of course, is going to cover up that strip. So no problem there. But I am going to use dimensionals to add this just because I feel like I need something popped up on this card, right? Okay. There we go. Get the dimensionals off. And we'll try to center this from side to side. And then I'm trying to get it so it's equal distance on the card. It looks like I got it a little bit too close to the one side. So we're going to start this process again. That looks a little bit better. Again, I always have to second guess myself to whether or not I got it on there straight. I mean, I think it's on there straight. Good Lord. Okay. And then, like I said, we do have our little present. So I'm going to go ahead and add my little present right here. And then I'm going to add my bow. And how I'm going to add my bow is I'm just going to add a tiny bit right here and just have it hook onto the card, to the label. And that's all I'm going to do with that, because then it kind of gives it a little bit of a 3D effect somewhat. And that's kind of fun. Okay. Then on the inside, you're going to get a scrap of crushed curry in your kit, and then you're going to take the little star die, which is really fun, and it's connected. They come out of there connected. So you're going to do 2 of those. You're going to get another little strip of designer series paper down here, 3/4 by 4 1/4, or 4, excuse me. And then I used that stamp set that I told you I was going to use in this class. And now what did I do with it? Oh, it's right here. It's the layering leaves, and I've got the sending hugs there, or thinking of you. Good Lord, can I even read? No, apparently I can't. I was going to go best wishes, but I didn't like it as well, so I changed my mind, because you know how it is. I can change my mind if I decide that I want to. Okay, that's not even, so we're going to flip the card around so then I can tell if it's actually even or not. Okay, and that is card number 1. And I didn't go with any ribbon or any bling. I felt like all the texture, the designer series paper, the foil piece, the present, everything on there already is a lot going on. So there you go. Card number 1. And let me put some of this stuff out of the way and bring in the next one. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side. I don't need that. I don't need that. I might need that, and I don't need that. Okay. All right, so here is the second card. I'm going to put that back that I have for you tonight. But before I do that, I also wanted to let you know, let's just say you guys don't want to place an order to get the cards from tonight's kit. I get it. I do happen to have, I did a class to go with this bundle, or with this die set last year, and I still have 3 of them left. Okay, so here's the packet. It's got the envelopes, the designer series paper, the 5 colors of ribbon. You get some gems, some bags, all the pre-cut cardstock pieces to make 8 cards, and here they are, you guys. So I do have a link to this kit in the description of the video, if that's something you'd prefer to have rather than order for the class. I get it. So here's one of the cards. Lots of fun. Here is another one of the cards, and another one of the cards. And where's my last card? What does it even look like? Oh my gosh. Oh, here it is. Like, where's my last card? And this would be the last card. So if you don't want to place an order to get the supplies to make the cards that we just are making today, and you want a kit for this class, that would do it for you. Okay, so this one, we are using another piece of that paper from that paper package. We're going to start out with a thick white card base. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to fold that, obviously, score that, burnish it nicely. Then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch layer of blueberry bushel, and we're going to take the brayer to this piece, just like we did in the first card. Okay, then you're going to get a 1 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of this pattern of the paper. You're going to get a 1 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of lemon lime twist, and you can see that I've gotten 2 hearts, 2 of the little heart sections and the stars out of this piece. Okay. You're going to get a piece of Granny Apple Green foil. This is a 2 by 4, and you can see I maximized what I got out of here. So I did get the Feel Better Soon die cut, and I did use my adhesive sheets for that. And then I did get some stars and some hearts. I ran it through a few times, and I just tried to maximize the piece and get as much as I could out of it. And so I got my hearts and my stars, and then here are my hearts and stars with the lemon lime twist. Okay, then you're going to get a scrap of white, and you're going to cut the other piece of the Feel Better Soon out of that, because this wanted to say die set gives you both pieces. So you get the skinny detailed piece, and then the kind of more balloon type piece that you can lay those on and back them up with. So there you go. So the Feel Better Soon, we are doing that. And I do have a bunch of other die cuts here that over the course of working with this set, that, I've die cut things out and then maybe it didn't work out or whatever. So this would be what the happy birthday would look like. So you would have the bubble piece in the back, and then the happy birthday detailed piece for the front. Okay. The Celebrate, I don't know if I have a non-coordinating color, but the Celebrate, again, same kind of thing. It just gives it a really nice, cool look, I feel like. And then the other piece is something You're Too Kind or something like that, if I remember right. So let's see if I have, here's the You're Too. I was going to do something different with that, and then it didn't work out. So you can see I've got all kinds of goodies cropped out a bunch of different colors. Oh, and here's one that I did a multicolor with it, so that's really fun. Anyway, I think you guys get the gist of how the set works, and it's just really fun. And it's really fun to like use different colors. You know what I mean? See what colors look good together. So anyway, okay. So these are our scraps. We don't need those anymore. This piece, we're going to attach it to the lemon lime twist. So we just want a little bit of the lemon lime twist to show, like, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, something like that. Okay, I think that, did I get that on there right? I think my lemon lime twist piece might not be long enough, or it might be too long. We'll see when we get there. But I feel like I didn't get that on there quite right. Boy, my eyeballs are not working out for me so good today. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so then on our blueberry bushel piece, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the front of the other card, but we're going to do it just on this layer. So it's going to be the same thing, basically. What did I do with my scratch paper? I lost it. I always have a spare. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to ink this up with my blueberry bushel. You can see that I'm picking it up and putting it back down each time. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to kind of start back here. And then I'm just going to roll this thing around and get some texture on here. And just like that, I have now textured my piece of cardstock. So super, super cool. Try to roll off that excess. And then I'm going to stick this behind me. Make sure I didn't get any ink on my fingers, because you guys know how I am. Oh, I kind of did. Okay. So now we can add this little piece to this. And I'm going to leave a little tiny bit on the side of the blue so that we kind of have a little contrast there with the designer series paper. So we're going to just leave, I don't know, like a 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, give or take, right there. And we're going to attach that down. Okay, and it does look like that my piece is a little bit too long. So, of course, we're just going to cut that off. Yes, Sandy said it gives depth. It absolutely does. And it's so simple to do. At first, I was trying to figure out what I could put on this card. And I was like, oh, maybe I could stamp some background stamps. We have a lot of background stamps. And I tried that. Nothing really worked. And I was going to maybe do an embossing folder. But another embossing folder would be like too much. You know what I mean? It was too much. So I was happened to be sitting here and I looked up and saw my brayer and I went, oh my gosh, that's the ticket right there. So that's what I did. Okay. So then we're going to add these two pieces together. So I did use an adhesive sheet. Again, because adhesive sheets with this die set are the bomb. But now I have to figure out where it is so I can peel it off. And I kind of found when I press the paper between my fingers and then I just kind of push my pointy end of my take your pick tool down in there, sometimes it will pull things apart. And there we did it. Because I don't have any fingernails. So my fingernail is not going to be pulling that apart. So I find that my take your pick tool does work pretty good for that. So I'm just carefully removing all of that. And then we can add it to our little piece of white here. So I'm just going to kind of start at the edge here with the B and the F and the S. And then I'm just going to kind of push it over to the edge here. And hopefully get it lined up nicely. Get that nicely on there. And our soon also on there. Okay, how cool is that? I love the foil against all of this. All right, so I'm going to add this to the card right there, but I'm going to do it with mini dimensionals, I think. As always, you know me, I use scraps whenever possible. I don't, I'm not purposely trying to throw stuff away. So yeah, if I have a scrap, I'm going to use it. All right, so now for my F, I think I'm just going to take a little snippet of the edge here and add it to my F. Okay, so what are you guys eating for dinner tonight? Trying to be low sodium. We're going to have rigatoni and meatballs. Now, meatballs aren't super low in sodium, but pasta is. I discovered pasta has 0 sodium, which I thought was crazy. And then my tomato sauce, I used no salt tomato sauce, which I didn't even know that was a thing until now. I'm trying to be a lower sodium. So yeah, while I do have some sodium in the meatballs, the other stuff doesn't have much. So then I just added a bunch of spices to kind of jazz up the flavor. So we'll see what happens. I threw some garlic in there. I threw in some Italian seasoning. I've got some bay leaves soaking in there. And then I tried to use like fresh mozzarella. I've never cooked with fresh mozzarella before, so not really sure how that's going to go down. Hopefully it's not yucky. I did use some mozzarella, and I threw in some Swiss because I discovered that Swiss is also a lower sodium cheese, you guys. So yeah, so we've got some Swiss in there. We'll see how that works. I don't know. It might be horrible. We might have to go out or eat yogurt or cereal or something for dinner. We'll see. Okay, so I've got a trio of hearts right here. I've got another trio of hearts that I die cut out of my foil sheet, but I cut it apart. So I cut the big heart off of the other hearts. And so I'm going to add these to the card. So we'll do that. And of course, you could make these cards with lots of other colors of papers and stuff, you know, take the idea and then just run with it and see what you can come up with. And then I'm going to put that one right there. So stinking cute. And then I'm going to add the whole thing to my layer of white. And then I've got an inside, or I got to do the inside, but that won't be too hard. We've got another piece of designer series paper for the inside. Oh my gosh, do you see how off I cut this blueberry bushel layer? Look how terrible that is. Yikes, we might have to fix that here. We might have to fix that. That's going to drive me nuts. Okay, so we've got Feel Better Soon on the outside. Then the stamp from the set that I'm going to use says Sending Hugs. So I'm going to bring in a foam mat for that. Margaret says she loves my cards. Yay! Thank you, Margaret. And I'm going to try to center this. I'm kind of looking. I'm hoping that it is. We'll see what happens. Whew, yay. All right. So then you'll get another piece of designer series paper. Look at that. We've got Christmas lights on the one side, but look, we've got some fun polka dots on this side that kind of fit our theme on the front with our greens. And so, yay. Always got to jazz up the inside of the card, right? Okay, so then we also have some of these lemon lime twist things, and I think we're going to go hearts again. I wasn't sure. I'd cut stars out of it too, but then you'll have stars if you want to do something else. Maybe you could put some stars on your envelope before you send it out or something, you know, use your imagination. And then we will add this little set of hearts right here. Cute. So then we have a few little extra pieces that we can use for something else, right? Okay. So again, I feel like with the foil on there and all the detail and everything, we don't need any other bling, I don't feel like. And so there it is, card number 2. All right, let me get card number 3 stuff out here. And this card is going to use a different kind of paper. I've used this paper a couple times so far since January. This is the Poetic Expressions designer series paper, and I have used it with the cows. I used it last week with, where's my cards? I used it last week with my cards that were for my kit 2 weeks ago, so you can see. And I'm going to use another pattern of it today. So I am just getting a serious bang for my buck out of this pack of paper. Okay, so the pattern that I'm going to use tonight is this one here. All right, so this is the one side. This is the other side. I'm using this side. We're going to go with a kind of boho blue mossy meadow theme. So we've got a boho blue card base, 8.5 by 5.5. We have a layer of misty moonlight, wrong, mossy meadow, a layer of mossy meadow that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And you can see I have die cut the leaf piece out of that 4 times. Okay, so we've got that. Our designer series paper is going to go over the top of that, hiding the fact that we chopped the inside of it out. Okay. We have our inside layer 4 by 5 1/4, and I already did it. So you're going to get another piece of designer series paper, a 1/2-inch strip. You're going to use one of your mossy meadow stems here, and then you're going to get some of this luster paper. This luster paper, it's one of those things that, you kind of forget about. But when I was looking at my wanted to say class that I showed you guys just a few minutes ago, I included luster paper. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right, luster paper. So I've got some luster paper here, and I did want to show you the difference. So these are both copper clay. This is regular cardstock. This is luster paper. So you can definitely see that there is a difference in the luster paper and the cardstock. So I decided to go with luster paper for my flowers. So this is a luster paper flower, this little yellow guy here. And you're going to get a strip of this to cut 4 pieces of 4 flowers. Okay. So you're going to have 4 flowers. And then you're going to get a label out of the Thoughtful Expressions bundle. And I'm going to give you the outside piece also. So like I'm going to run it through. I'm going to give you this label, and I'm going to give you this excess. And I'm going to show you why I'm giving you the excess. You are going to take one of your little luster paper flowers that you cut out. Oh, whoops. Before you do that, you're going to take a dark boho blue marker. And you're going to like color a circle on a part of this paper, part of the scrap here. Okay. Then you're going to add some glue to this flower, and then you're going to stick the flower on here so that the little spot that you colored is in the middle. And what that's going to do is that's going to make the middle of our flower a tiny bit darker than the label. Okay. So we're going to stick that down, and then all you have to do to get rid of the excess is just take your scissors and just kind of cut around it. So I didn't put glue all the way to the edges of my leaves or my petals. So I can just snip around that, and there I have my flower with a little bit darker middle. Okay. And so I do need to do that one more time because I have 3 of these little guys. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 I meant. I can't count either. And so here I'm going to use another little spot here and just make that a bit darker with my Stampin' Blend. Stampin' Blends are really cool for doing this. And I do this a lot where I'll use my Stampin' Blends to give me like a darker shade of the same color. And I just love how it works. All right. So we will get those bits off. And we're going to do this. And we'll come around here, and we're going to snip off. Oops. That was me not really using enough glue, I think. Or maybe not waiting until the glue had dried. Because I was just so excited to get it all done for you guys. Okay, and then we're going to come back here and snip off that. And then there is a tiny little spot right here that I can see that I'm going to snip off. So there we have our 3 flowers. We have our label. We have a bunch of bits that are going to go in the trash now. Get rid of those. We have our leaf pieces. So this is what you get when you cut a leaf out. Okay, you've got a stem with the leaves. You can see I used it full right there. Well, a couple of these on the front, I don't want to use the whole stem. One of them I do, 2 of them I don't. So I snipped off the leaves, and I'm just going to glue them together. Okay, so I cut the leaves apart, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here to the bottom of one of these leaves and glue it together. So there I'm going to have a little leaf without the stem. Okay, and that was a little more glue than I needed. I probably should have used a glue dot. I didn't. What are you going to do? Okay, then you're also going to get a scrap to cut out Happy Birthday. This is the detailed piece, okay? We're not actually using the bubble piece on this. And we're going to attach our happy birthday to this little label here, but not before we add our flower underneath. So I'm going to kind of figure out, where do I want my flower and where do I want my leaves to be? So I kind of think that's where I want it to be. So I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm going to kind of add some glue to the back of this leaf. You know what I'm going to do? I think I might just stick it on my pinky. And then come back here and get some glue behind there from my pinky. There. I bet nobody's done that before for you. Okay, now I already had this die cut because I showed you guys my little container full of die cuts, and I didn't use my paper. So now I have to painstakingly add some liquid glue here to get this to stick. And while I'm a pretty good gluer, it doesn't always work out, and sometimes you get squishiness, you know, how the glue squishes out, and that's so annoying. But it happens. Okay, so we are going to put this down kind of towards the bottom, letting our flower come out above. There we go. Got our happy birthday there. Now we got to get our happy on. Same thing. I did not use the sheet. Ding dong. But yeah, learn from my mistakes and definitely use your adhesive sheets when you're using dies like this, you guys. It's so much easier. And then you won't have glue squishing out all over like I'm probably going to. So I'm going to take my finger and try to get some of that off. Okay, and now we're going to add our happy up here above that, about like so. I think is that even? It might not be, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. Then I'm going to use a mini dimensional on this flower here. And I'm going to add it to the top of my stem. So cute. And now we can sort of put everything together. So let me add some glue to this Mossy Meadow layer here. Go around the edge, not all the way to the edge because our designer series paper has to be on there, but you know, close to the edge so that the paper will fit. And then we're going to glue these together, and there should just be a very slight border, like about 1/16 of an inch or so. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to use dimensionals on the back here. And I'm going to use 5. I'm a big fan of the 5, one in each corner, and then, you know, one in the middle. Okay, so now we can pick off the dimensional backings. Oh my gosh, Sandy, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get this on. Try to get it in the middle. Yes, I think that will work. And now I'm not going to put this in the middle just because you know how hard it is to get stuff in the middle. We all know how hard it is to get stuff in the middle. So we're just not going to do that. We're just going to stick it in the corner, and then it won't matter if it's in the middle, right? Okay, so now the last thing we have to do to the front is we have 2 flowers. We have 2 leaf pieces. Hopefully I didn't lose them. And I'm going to use a glue dot, I think, for this. Because I feel like if I don't, then I'm going to cause a problem. So I'm going to stick my the end of my little leaves here on the glue dot and then attach the little flower. And so my thing was I was going to like stick the flowers on this other corner. Okay. And then with that luster paper for our flowers, they're shiny, which is kind of fun. All right. And we'll add, oh, you know what? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because we're going to stick this one up here. Maybe we'll do something like that. And then I think I'm going to do one of these with dimensionals and one with a glue dot. Where are my dimensionals? Here we go. And I'm going to stick that right here on the little flower. And so this one is got a dimensional. This one does not. I think I'll just go with some glue. And then I'm going to kind of tuck that one underneath the other one. And there it is. How stinking cute is that? And then our inside piece, like I said, is already done. Is this, you know what? All of a sudden I feel like this is, it is. This is 5.5. Holy buckets. Okay, hold on. I have to cut this. But it has glue on it. So how am I going to manage that? I'm going to show you. I am going to stick this on a clear envelope. Okay. I'm going to stick that on a clear envelope, and then hopefully I can chop this off. Like about 1/4 of an inch is what I need to chop off. So we're going to try to line that up, chop that off. We're going to try to chop this off too. I'm going to try to line that up at 4 inches and chop off the top. And then I'm going to peel that off. There, no harm, no foul. And then I'm just going to stick it on the inside of my card. You're probably thinking, wow, that was a great tip, Barb. Yeah, I've done that more than once. Cut my inside layer the wrong size and then actually go to try to stick it in and you're like, oh my word, that is too big. Okay. All right, guys, let me bring in the stuff again. Thank you for joining me again. If you do want a card kit to create these amazing cards, I can hook you up. All you got to do is place a $35 order in my online store between now and next Wednesday night at midnight. And then you will get one of these card kits in the mail. If you order $50, you're going to get the card kit plus my global tutorial PDF. $75 is going to get you a mystery embellishment on top of all that other stuff. And of course, at $75, you would also get a celebration reward. So that's awesome. And again, you will get everything in these kits except I will not die cut anything that comes in the Wanted to Say die set. Okay, so all these die cuts you will be doing yourself. These labels I will give you, this embossed piece I will give you, all the designer series papers I will give you, the foil pieces I will give you, all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your kind words. It always makes me happy to see kind words come out of everybody, not just you guys, just all of us as humans. I love kind words. And I will see you guys again next week with another kit. So enjoy your week, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.